I should have known something was wrong the day my mother-in-law handed me a list of rules. Not suggestions, rules. Typed out on paper, laminated, and stuck to the fridge with a magnet that had her face on it. My name is Grace, and this is the story of how I nearly lost my mind and my marriage, living under my mother. It all started 6 months after my wedding to Victor. We were living in a small one-bedroom apartment in Surulere, Lagos. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. We paid our rent, we cooked our meals, we lived our life. Then Victor lost his job. The company he worked for closed down overnight. No warning, no severance pay. Just like that, our main source of income was gone. I was working as a teacher, but my salary could barely cover groceries, let alone rent. We struggled for 3 months, borrowed money from friends, sold some of our things. But the landlord was not playing with us. So he gave us one final warning: pay up or move out. That's when Victor's mother called. "My son, why are you suffering out there when we have space in this house?" she said on speakerphone, her voice sweet as honey. "You and your wife should come and stay with us, just until you get back on your feet." I looked at Victor. He looked at me. We both knew this was a bad idea, but we were desperate. We had nowhere else.
The first day we moved into his family house in Ikeja, I noticed something strange. Mama, that's what everyone called Victor's mother, was smiling too much, like the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the kind of smile that makes you check your back to make sure there's no knife. "You're home now," she said, hugging Victor tightly and barely glancing at me. My son is finally back where he belongs. The house was big. 4 bedrooms, a large living room, a kitchen that could fit 10 people. Victor's younger brother, Jerry, still lived there. So did Victor's unmarried cousin, Peace, and of course, Mama. They gave us the guest room at the back of the house. It was small, just big enough for a bed and a wardrobe. The walls were thin, so thin that I could hear Mama coughing in her room at night. So thin that everyone could hear everything. And I mean everything. "Don't worry," Victor said, trying to make me feel better. "We'll just keep to ourselves, stay out of everyone's way." But that was impossible because the rules started on day 3. I woke up at 6 a.m. to use the bathroom and found Mama standing in the kitchen, arms folded, watching me like a hawk. "Good morning, Ma," I greeted her. She did not respond immediately, just stared at me with those sharp eyes of hers. "Grace, in this house, we wake up at 5:30 a.m. to pray. Family prayer is 6 a.m. sharp. If you are not in the living room by then, it means you don't have respect." I blinked. "Oh, I didn't know." "Now you know," she cut me off. "Tomorrow, I expect to see you there." And that was just the beginning. Mama had rules for everything. When to wake up, when to sleep, what to wear inside the house. No shorts, no sleeveless tops, not even in our own room, because what if Jerry or the neighbors see you to the window? She controlled what we ate. Every morning, she would cook breakfast and serve everyone, but she would always give Victor more food than me. When I tried to cook my own meals, she would come into the kitchen and hover over me, criticizing everything. "Why are you using so much oil? Are you trying to finish my own oil? You're cutting the onions too big. That was not how we cooked in this house. Is this how you cooked for my son in your apartment? No wonder he looks so thin." I would smile, nod, keep quiet, because Victor kept telling me, "Just ignore her. It's only for a few more weeks." But weeks turned into months, and Mama got worse. She started coming into our room without knocking. I'm not joking. She would just push the door open, walk in and start talking. It didn't matter if we were sleeping. It didn't matter if we were changing clothes. She would just enter. One morning, I woke up to find her standing at the foot of our bed, staring at us. I almost screamed. "Mama, what's wrong?" Victor asked, half asleep. "I was just checking if you people are awake," she said calmly, like it was completely normal to stand in someone's room watching them sleep. "It's 7 a.m. Victor, your uncle called. He has a job opportunity for you. You need to go and say it today." "Okay, ma, thank you," Victor said. She didn't leave immediately. She stood there, looking around the room. Her eyes landed on me and I could see the judgment all over her face. "Grace, why is the bed not made yet? In this house, we make our bed as soon as we wake up." I wanted to say, "Mama, we just woke up 2 seconds ago because you are standing here staring at us." But I kept my mouth shut. After she left, I turned to Victor. "Babe, please talk to your mother. She can't just be walking into our room like this." He sighed. "I'll talk to." Then came the bedroom issue. One night, Victor and I were, being a married couple. We were trying to be quiet, but the walls in the house were like paper. Thin, too thin. The next morning at breakfast, Mama didn't look at me. She just said, loudly in front of everyone, "Some people in this house have no shame, making noise at night like animals. There are children in this house. There are unmarried people in this house. Have some respect." I wanted to die. Victor said nothing. He just kept eating his food, pretending like he didn't hear her. But I heard her. Everyone heard her. From that day, I couldn't even look at Victor the same way in that house. I was too ashamed, too embarrassed. Our marriage was dying and we were sleeping in the same bed. Mama also controlled our money. Yes, our money. Victor finally got a new job. Praise God. And when he received his first salary, Mama asked him how much it was. "Mama, it's not much, just 150,000 naira, he said. She nodded. "Good. Give me 50,000 for food and utilities. You are living under my roof, eating my food. You have to contribute." I couldn't believe my ears. 50,000? That was a third of his salary. But Victor gave it to her without arguing. And every month after that, she would collect money from him. Sometimes 50,000, sometimes more. She would say things like, "The electricity bill is high this month," or "I need to fix the roof," or "Your father needs medication." We couldn't save. We couldn't plan. We were stuck. The final breaking point came on a Sunday afternoon. I was in the kitchen washing plates when Mama walked in with Peace, Victor's cousin. "Grace," Mama said, her voice cold, "we need to talk." I turned around, hands still wet from the soapy water. "Yes, Ma." She folded her arms. "How long have you and Victor been married now?" 1 year. "Yes, Ma, 1 year and 2 months. She looked at Peace, then back at me. "And still no pregnancy." My heart sank. Here we go. Mama continued, "I'm beginning to wonder if there's something wrong with you. My son is strong, he's healthy, so the problem must be from you." I felt tears stain my eyes, but I refused to cry in front of her. "Mama, with all due respect, my marriage is between me and Victor. If God wants to bless us with a child, he will. But I won't be disrespected in this kitchen." Her face changed. The fake sweetness disappeared and I saw the real her, the angry her. "Disrespected," she repeated slowly. "You think you can talk to me like that in my own house? You who has been eating my food, sleeping under my roof, enjoying my son's money? We've been paying you every month." I shot back, my voice shaking. "Contribute?" She laughed bitterly. "You contribute nothing. My son contributes. You are just here, wasting space, unable to even give me a grandchild." That did it. I threw the sponge into the sink and walked out of the kitchen. I went straight to our room, locked the door and cried. I cried for everything, for the loss of my privacy, for the constant criticism, for the way my husband had become a stranger, too afraid to stand up for me. For the way I felt like a guest, no, like a prisoner in someone else's home. When Victor came home that evening, I told him everything. I said, we have to leave. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. He sat on the bed, looking defeated. Grace, where will we go? We don't have enough money saved. I don't care. I shouted, I don't care if we have to rent a single room in Motion. I don't care if we have to eat bread and eggs every day. I would rather suffer in our own space than live in this hell. He looked at me for a long time, and for the first time in months, I saw something change in his eyes. He nodded. Oh,
But here's the thing I didn't tell you. Mama never liked me from the beginning, even before we moved into a house. When Victor first brought me home to meet his family, she took one look at me, and I saw it in her eyes. Disgust. Like I was something dirty that the cat dragged in. See, I'm from a small town in Enugu. My father was a palm wine tapper. My mother sold vegetables in the markets. We were poor, very poor. The kind of poor where you wear your school uniform until it turns from white to brown because there's no money to buy another one. But I was smart. I got a scholarship to university. I studied hard. I became a teacher. I met Victor at a friend's wedding and we fell in love. But to Mama, I wasn't good enough. Her son, her precious firstborn, was supposed to marry someone from a good family, someone with money, someone with connections, someone whose father was a doctor, a lawyer, or a chief. Not the daughter of a palm wine chapper. She told Victor this to his face. That girl will bring poverty into our family, she said. Mark my words. Since you brought her into your life, what has happened? You lost your job. You lost your apartment. She's your curse. And she actually believed it. That's why she treated me the way she did in her house. It wasn't just about control. Oh. She genuinely believed that I was the reason for Victor's problems, that I was bad luck, a curse wrapped in human skin. The day we moved out, Mama didn't just ignore me. She spat at my feet. Yes, she actually spat on the ground right in front of me. Take your curse and leave my house. Since you came into my son's life, everything has been going wrong. Maybe now that you are gone, he will finally be free. Victor saw it. He grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the car. Let's go, he said, his jaw tight. As we drove away, I saw her standing in the doorway with Peace and Jerry watching us leave. She had this satisfied smile on her face, like she just won a battle. We moved into that one bedroom, Judu. And life was hard. So hard. We were broke. Like counting every naira broke. Some nights he would eat just gari and groundnuts for dinner because that's all we could afford. Our furniture was all second-hand, mattress on the floor, plastic chairs, one small gas cooker. But you know what? We were happy. No one was breathing down our necks. No one was making us feel small. It was just us building our life one small step at a time. Then 3 months later, everything changed. Victor got a call. An interview at Shell. You know Shell, the big oil company. The kind of job people dream about. I prayed like I'd never prayed before. Morning, afternoon, night. God, please, just this once, let something good happen to us. And God answered. Victor got the job. Not just any position, his senior position.
with a salary that made my teacher's salary look like pocket money. 600,000 naira per month, plus benefits, plus housing allowance, plus car allowance. When he came home and told me, I screamed. So loud, the neighbors thought something was wrong. We cried together, we danced, we thanked God over and over again. The curse? There was no curse. There never was.
Within 2 months, we moved out of that 1-bedroom in Ojodo. Shell provided us with a beautiful 3-bedroom apartment in Lekki Phase 1, not rent-free accommodation, with a generator, with security, with a gym and a swimming pool in the estates. The first time I walked into that apartment, I cried. No sad tears, happy tears, overwhelmed tears. We had a guest room, a dining room, a kitchen with marble countertops, a balcony overlooking the lagoon. I kept thinking about Mama's face, about how she said I was a case, about how she blamed me for everything. And now look at us. Victor bought a car, a brand new Toyota Camry. He would drive to work every morning in a suit and tie, and I would watch him from the balcony, my heart full of pride. But the sweetest part, the part that made everything worth it, I got pregnant. 3 months after we moved into our new place, I missed my period. At first, I didn't want to get my hopes up. You know how it is when you've been waiting for something for so long. You're afraid to believe it's finally happening. But then 1 week passed, then 2 weeks. I felt tired all the time. My breasts were sore. I was throwing up in the mornings. I bought a pregnancy test from the pharmacy and took it in our beautiful new bathroom. My hands shaking. 2 lines. Pregnant. I screamed so loud that Victor came running from the living room thinking something was wrong. What happened? Are you okay? I just showed him the test. Tears streaming down my face. He lifted me up and spun me around, laughing and crying at the same time. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. We didn't tell anyone immediately. We wanted to wait until I was at least 3 months along, just to be safe. But somehow, word got out. Maybe Jerry heard it from someone. Maybe one of Victor's aunties who lived in Lekki saw us at the hospital. I don't know. But one Saturday afternoon, we heard a knock on our door. Loud, aggressive. Victor opened it, and there she was. Mama, standing in our doorway with peace beside her, looking around our apartment with wide eyes. Victor, Mama said, pushing past him into the living room. Is it true? Is this girl pregnant? Not your wife, not Grace. This girl. Victor closed the door slowly. Yes, Mama. Grace is pregnant. We are having a baby. I was sitting on the couch and I watched her face tweet. Not with joy, not with excitement, with anger. And you didn't think to tell your own mother. She snapped. I have to hear it from strangers. We were going to tell you when the child is already born. She turned around to look at me, and the hatred in her eyes was so strong I could feel it from across the room. So, she said slowly, you finally managed to trap my son. My mouth fell open. Excuse me? You heard me, she hissed. You knew that if you got pregnant, he could never leave you. That's why you did it. You trapped him. Victor stepped forward. Mama, that's enough. Enough? She whirled around to face him. Look at you. Look at this place. You are living like a king now. And you've forgotten your family. You've forgotten your mother. All because of this. She couldn't even finish the sentence. She was so angry. She was shaking. Mama, Victor said calmly but firm. You called my wife a curse. You said she was the reason I lost my job. You said she brought poverty into my life. But look at us now. I have the best job I've ever had. We're living in our beautiful home. We're about to have a child. Where is the curse? Mama's mouth opened and closed like a fish. She had no answer. You treated Grace like trash in your house. You disrespected her. You disrespected our marriage. And even now, when you should be happy for us, you're still trying to tear us down. Tears were streaming down Mama's face now, but they weren't sad tears. They were angry tears, bitter tears. You changed. She changed you. No, Victor said quietly.
She saved me. Mama left that day and didn't speak to us for months. She refused to come to our baby shower. She refused to answer our calls. When I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, a healthy, chubby, perfect little boy, she didn't even send a congratulations message. But we were okay. Because our little family, me, Victor, and our wonderful son, Vincent, we were complete. We were happy, we were blessed. And every morning when I wake up in our beautiful home with my husband beside me and my baby sleeping peacefully in his crib, I thank God. Not just for the job, not just for the house, not just for the baby, but for giving us the strength to walk away. Because some battles you don't win by fighting, you win by living, by refusing to let bitter people poison your life, by building your own happiness brick by brick, even when everyone says you will fail. Mama thought I was a curse, but God turned me into a blessing.
Something, a lesson, a memory, a truth. Share it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to African Folktales by Zara for more stories that speak to the soul.